Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I've got my Christmas cup out with a cup of black tea. This was actually number 6 on my tea advent calendar. As you can see, we're moving down the line. Alright, so today I'm going to be doing the Christmas Carol book tag, which was created by Sam of Novels and Nonsense. And I love Christmas and Christmas carols, and it is truly not Christmas in my house until I have broken out the Hanson Snowed In Christmas album, which I'm sure so many of you are laughing at me, but whatever, I love it. Alright, let's get started. The first Christmas carol is Deck the Halls, and that one is show your favorite book covers, or some of your favorite book covers. I didn't go too crazy, but I did get a few. The first one is Empress of the World, and I just think this is such a simple and cute book cover. This was definitely one of my favorite books when I was a teenager, and I still think it's a really great book. Then we have Lauren Willig's That Summer. Oh, and Empress of the World is by Sarah Ryan. I think this cover of That Summer is beautiful. The new paperback cover is not nearly this gorgeous. Then, my favorite of the Lunar Chronicles covers, which is Cress, and this one I just think is gorgeous. All of the Lunar Chronicles books have beautiful covers, but this is my favorite. And the last one is quite possibly the prettiest of all of them, and a book I have not read, and that is These Broken Stars. Whew, there was a glare. And I mean, seriously, this is just the prettiest book cover. I just want to stare at it. Stare at it all day. The next Christmas carol is Let It Snow, and that is a book that takes place in a wintry climate or during winter, and I chose Run by Anne Patchett, and while this is definitely not my favorite Anne Patchett book, it's okay. I think I gave it 3 stars, but it does take place during the winter. It is at the beginning of the book there's a giant blizzard, and the blizzard is what sort of affects the plot, because if it hadn't been for that blizzard, the things that happen that create this web of things for this family to tackle would not have happened, and so winter plays a big part in this one. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is the next Christmas carol, and that is a character in a book that is a misfit, or somewhat of a misfit. And what would a Christmas book tag be if I didn't bring up Mischief Under the Mistletoe, or Mischief of the Mistletoe? Turnip Fitzbaugh in this is absolutely a misfit, and I love him. He's been in the Pink Carnation series from the beginning, but this book he plays a much bigger role in, and you just gotta love him. He is just absolutely a misfit, and everyone kind of teases him and makes fun of him, but in this book he's not as much of a misfit by the end of it. So yes, this one's definitely one of my favorite Lauren Willig Pink Carnation books, and it's holiday themed, so it fits on so many levels. A Holly Jolly Christmas is the next one, and it is a book that makes you happy, and I picked The Happiness Project, which is sort of obvious and not a very inspired choice. But this one definitely makes me smile, and when I was reading this, there were so many times that I was like thinking about some of the stuff that was in this book and being like, normally that might not have made me happy, but the more I think about it, it really should. And so I think not only while reading this it made me happy and feel all warm and fuzzy, but it also inspired me to feel happier in my everyday life. The next one is A Christmas Song, and I have to say that's definitely my favorite Christmas carol or Christmas song of the holiday season. It's the best, and I love the Barry Manilow version, which is super embarrassing. I'm not really sure why I listen to the most embarrassing holiday music, but I can't even be embarrassed. It is what it is. But the book for that one is Your Favorite Holiday Story, and my favorite holiday story is not a novel or like a long book. It's actually a children's book, and it is The Night Before Christmas. And specifically this one, there are many editions of this, but this adorable and tiny book is the book that my mother has always read to me on the night before Christmas. So she would always read this to me as a child, and sometimes she calls over here, well, not sometimes, every year she calls over here on Christmas Eve and reads me this. And yeah, it's beautiful and it's charming, and she wrote like a little note in the front, and it's got some of the prettiest illustrations. I just love it. It's my favorite. It's falling apart because it's so well loved. Yep, this one, it's a keeper. Frosty the Snowman is the next Christmas Carol, and that is a character that is cold and hard on the outside but warm on the inside. And I picked the Count of Monte Cristo, or Edmond Dantes from the Count of Monte Cristo, because he is, you know, he seems like such a cold and calculating character for a lot of the book, but, you know, he does everything he does for a reason, and you can tell in different parts of the book that he is really a loving character and that he has a warm heart on the inside. So this is definitely, he's definitely that Frosty the Snowman character. That's a weird parallel. The next one is Up on the Housetop, and fun fact, it's one of the few songs that I can play on the piano from my first year piano book, but I can still play it. It still counts. Okay, so that is a book that you would shout from the housetops or from the rooftops, and I think it goes without saying that that is Ready Player One. I have in fact been shouting this from the rooftops. I'm pretty sure that no less than 5 of my friends are reading this because I won't stop talking about it. Okay, the next one is Santa Claus is Coming to Town, and that is a character that looks after other characters. And I picked Madeline from Big Little Lies by Leanne Moriarty because she is definitely a mama hen, and she looks after everyone that she is friends with, and she is, you know, goes to bat for them all the time, and she's definitely that overprotective friend character, so she definitely fits that role. So the next one is Holly and the Ivy, and I'm sure I've heard that song, but for some reason I cannot recall what it is. But that is a book with green and red on the cover, or a green and red book. And instead of going with Mischief of the Mistletoe again, I decided to pick a book that's green and a book that's red, and those are 2 George R.R. Martin books, A Storm of Swords and A Feast of Crows. I have not read either of these, as evident by how good a condition these mass market paperbacks are in. I have only read the first one, but I bought all of them so that I would have matching covers. Yes. So there's my green and red books. Yay, Christmas. Silent Night is the next one, and here I will repeat myself with my favorite classic, which is The Count of Monte Cristo, because I just love this book, and it will always be my favorite classic, I'm pretty sure. It's such a good book, and I just love it. Alexander Dumas is just fantastic writer, and this is definitely, in my opinion, his best work. Baby It's Cold Outside is the next one, and it is your favorite romantic book or couple, and I chose Elizabeth and Darcy from Pride and Prejudice because I just think they're adorable, and I love their romance. It's fantastic. So the last one is The Most Wonderful Time of the Year, and it is your favorite Christmas or holiday tradition. And I have to say that my favorite holiday tradition is definitely Christmas Eve. My family all goes to my grandmother's house, and we always have, and we have Christmas Eve dinner, and it's just such a fun time for the family to get together because there are no presents. Everybody just shows up and eats, and it's hilarious because as long as I can remember, so she has this area, like her living room, where she sets up these card tables and like puts out the matching Christmas china and like the little candlelight or candles that go with it, and it's all like fancy, and she dims the lights, but she dims the lights too much so you can't really see your food. And ever since I was a kid, someone would always go and like put the dimmer back up and try to like raise light, and she would always know. I don't know, it didn't matter how minute the raising of the dimmed lights was, she would always know, and then she'd go and put it back down every time. And one year my uncle even came in and had like a reading light that he clipped to the bill of his hat and then pointed at his food, and I thought my grandmother was going to kill him. It was the most hilarious thing. I happened to be sitting across from him that year, and oh my gosh, I was laughing so hard. I was trying not to cry. It was so funny, and yeah, those are some of my favorite memories about Christmas, are definitely from Christmas Eve. So I really enjoy that. And I mean, the rest of Christmas I enjoy too. I love getting to decorate you know, my house for Christmas, decorating the tree. We always have hot chocolate, or recently, this, not when we were kids, but now my dad always makes hot chocolate when we come over to their house in the morning. So I like that too, but definitely Christmas Eve is the highlight of the holiday season for me. Okay, so that is it. I would love to hear what your favorite holiday tradition is and your favorite Christmas carol in the comments. I definitely would say my favorite Christmas carol is the Christmas song, and specifically the Barry Manilow version. I'm just gonna keep being embarrassing about my Christmas music. It's what I do. Alright, well, I hope you guys are having a wonderful holiday season, and I will see you guys next time. Bye! Rudolph the next door neighbor? Rudolph the next door neighbor, yes. My favorite Christmas story is the night before. Twas the night before? Wah. I have no, dang it. Hi, Mom. To George, what is wrong with me? I would love to hear your favorite credential. What in the world? Why can't I talk? I would love to hear your favorite comments. Oh my gosh.